Hello everyone and welcome to Season 7, Episode 4 of I See Bad Movies. I'm one of your hosts, Dave Keane, and I am joined by the lucky, Midas touched Emma Spicer.
Hello.
Hello. Do you see what I did there?
Yes, I do. But every week it gets more and more ridiculous.
It does. Wait, the intro or me?
Both.
Oh, god damn it. All right, well, welcome everyone. Emma, how are you feeling this week?
Tired.
Oh,
But
God.
Other than that, fine. Yeah.
Good.
Good even.
Well, hopefully this film is either going to keep you entertained and on the edge of your seat and awake,
Or send me off to sleep.
or send you off to sleep. So if it does send you off to sleep, I'll just keep watching it. I'll make
Yeah.
some notes for you,
Okay.
and then I'll put the dog blanket over you. So you.
Oh, don't put the
No, I
dog
won't do
blanket over me,
that.
it stinks.
Oh, I act like some smelling salts and wake you up, won't it?
Yeah.
Emma, do you want to tell our beautiful, wonderful listeners what movie we're watching tonight?
Yes, we are watching Leprechaun 4
Yes.
in space. We've watched Leprechaun.
Yes, we have. We watched the original Leprechaun.
Did we watch that? What was that series? Was it the Big Stars in...
That was Big Stars and Bad
Who was in
Movies. Jennifer Aniston.
Yes.
Yes, it definitely was.
Yeah.
I was almost thinking, no, it was Hauntings, but no, it's
Because I
not
was thinking
Haunting.
she
That
was
was in the
Critters,
first
but
season.
that was Leonardo DiCaprio, wasn't it?
It was.
Critters, yeah.
Yeah, but that was the same season.
Yeah.
And interesting, because that was Critters 3.
Yes.
So we haven't watched Critters 1 or 2. Well, I have many years ago.
I don't think I will.
And no, although they are stupid fun, like
Yeah.
Critters 3 was. And we've watched Leprechaun and we're taking a jump past 2 and 3 straight to number 4.
Yeah. We might miss some of the plot.
Yeah,
Was
I
there a
know.
plot?
Is there
Don't think
is
there
there a plot? Well, speaking of the plot, would you like to hear the synopsis?
Yes, I would.
Because this isn't a movie I've ever seen.
That was seamless.
It
that
was.
little link.
Thank you very much. I have been working on my podcasting techniques, don't you know?
Yeah, maybe not so seamless now that I've actually mentioned it.
Yeah, yeah.
But we'll carry on.
But we'll ignore that. We'll ignore that. Right, so what I'm going to do, let's read out this one from... Oh, let's read out this synopsis written by somebody from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, who we have
Why
actually
not?
had some downloads from that
Oh,
country.
have we?
Yeah, I know.
We're very international.
We actually are. When we look at the map of the world of our listeners,
Yeah.
we've got downloads in quite a lot of areas of the world, and I'm really proud of that.
Yeah, that's quite cool
I
actually,
mean,
isn't it?
they haven't signed up and downloaded every episode. Maybe
But
they've just downloaded
given it a try.
Yeah, they've given it a try.
They haven't liked it, but they've given it a
It's
try.
all we can ask for. If you just download it, but you don't carry on listening, at least you've downloaded it, and it's still a little tick, isn't it? Well, in fact, actually, I've been reading ahead of that synopsis a little bit, and they seem to give away the whole story.
Oh,
so no,
so let's maybe
I'm
find
going to
out
go with a much simpler one. It's the 21st century. A group of US Marines battle in space to destroy a space monster when they get in the way of the Leprechaun, who is in space to marry a princess so he can become ruler of the planet Dominia. They think they have killed the Leprechaun. Wrong. The Leprechaun goes on board their space station to find the princess they have taken from him, where he'll kill to get her back. Very different to the first Leprechaun movie,
Yeah.
isn't it? I mean, one, it's in space, and two, it's not like he's trying to get his gold back. By the sounds of it,
No.
he's after a woman this time. Well, leprechauns have their needs, I suppose. So, yeah. Right. So, shall I toss the coin? It'd be
Yes.
very difficult, both of us trying to do it, and see what we're going to focus on. That was dreadful.
That's better.
What do you think?
Good.
Yes, it is. I think that's the first time in a long time.
I've guessed it right.
Yeah.
Still got it.
No denying it. I'm not denying it. Right, and you're picking, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay. So, here you go. What have we got?
We have... No, sorry, you're picking.
Oh, I'm picking?
Yes.
Oh my God.
We've just had this conversation twice. We're so old. We just literally had this conversation before we started that you were picking this time.
Why did I have the cards next to me then? I just didn't give them to you, did I?
You just didn't give them to me, no.
Yeah,
It's
that's
your
it.
pick,
It's my
definitely.
pick, okay. We've got costume.
Okay, that could be good
I'm
for a leprechaun.
hoping, yeah, the leprechaun. Location,
Yeah.
space, I suppose. Supporting cast.
Okay.
We have line. What's that? One more to go, isn't it?
Yeah, one more.
Let's come over this side. Special effects.
Okay.
Okay, so that's special effects, line, supporting cast, location, costume, and any wild cards that may come up in it.
Yeah.
Emma, I ask this every time, and the answer's always no. But are you ready to watch Leprechaun 4 in space?
Born ready.
Well, your lounge, but
yeah.
the movie's in space.
Yeah,
You know what I mean.
We're not going to space to watch it.
No.
That'd be a bit of a stretch.
All right. See you all in a minute. Well, welcome back, Emma.
Wow, what a movie.
Yeah, what a movie indeed. We have just finished watching Leprechaun 4.
We have.
And I'm just going to say this outright. It's one of those films that we talked through.
Yeah.
Well, at least the first time we started watching it.
Yes.
The second time we started watching it, because we took a break,
Yes.
we started watching the film after we recorded the intro, and we had a lot of technical issues getting it started.
Yeah.
And watching it via YouTube and renting it via YouTube was not simple, but we were ready for it the next time. And the last time it was getting close to midnight, and we still had like 40 minutes of the film left, and we were like, I certainly, I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah, me too.
So we watched it over 2 nights, and we've just finished watching the finale. The finale, I think, was a lot better than the build-up to the finale. There was a lot more fun things going on.
Yes.
But the build-up to it was pretty meh.
It's one of those movies that I would say don't watch, and I wouldn't recommend until the very end. Then I'm like, oh, okay,
Yes.
I need to give it a point or two here for this.
Yeah. I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah.
It's not worth the watch until
the end.
There's a good payoff, and that's the only saving grace.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go a little bit through the synopsis.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the film. The synopsis I've found about it, or the main plot of the film, is quite limited. So I'll embellish on it a little bit as we go. So it's 2096. Okay.
Yeah.
We've got 2 things going on at the moment. We've got a platoon of Space Marines coming to kill a leprechaun for interfering, or they're coming to kill a monster. They don't know that it's a leprechaun.
Yeah.
But they're coming to kill something that is interfering with mining operations on this planet. Okay.
Yes.
But at the same time, the leprechaun on this planet is courting an alien princess called Zarina. His plan is to marry her and become king of her home planet. She's like, I don't want to marry you, and then she sees how rich he is. The 2 of them agree to marry, but both of them have their own little plan. He's going to kill her so that he can enjoy all the marriage benefits, a peerage and being king of a world.
Yeah.
And she is going to be like, yeah, I'm going to kill him and get all his money. Amazing. Now, the Space Marines arrive.
Yeah.
Leprechaun hears them arrive, and he's like, well, I've got to go deal with this. So he wants to go deal with them. So there's a whole couple of things happen. One of the soldiers, I don't know if you might have this down, one of the soldiers finds all of the leprechaun sort of riches and gets killed as he's about to try and steal some of them.
Yeah.
And no other soldiers are lost because I think it's our main guy. I can't remember his name. Let me look it up on IMDb. Books is his name. He throws a grenade and kills off and blows up the leprechaun. Mm-hmm. Okay. One of the soldiers, Kowalski his name is gloating over the victory and urinates on the leprechaun's body.
Yes.
It's at that point there's like a little sort of glowy thing go up the stream of urine and into the soldier. And I can't remember if he noticed it at the time, like it was a little, oh, or nothing happened.
Actually.
I know, I can't. You'd imagine you'd feel a little, like, leprechaun soul.
I don't think there was a big reaction if there was one.
No, I don't think there was there? There was certainly a bigger reaction when what happens because the Leprechaun soul entered
Yes.
his PP. As far as they're aware, they've defeated the Leprechaun. But also in the explosion, they find a knocked out Princess Zarina,
Yes.
who, as part of the Space Marines, or these Marines, there's a female companion with them. Well, there's a female soldier, and then there's like a female companion who's like a doctor. But I don't know why she's there, other than maybe...
No idea.
Yeah, but she's not like a normal Marine, but she's a badass
She's just a
doctor.
badass.
Yeah, she's just a badass. Yeah, she's shooting away and beating people up later in the film.
Yeah.
However, she recognises that the dress and the makeup on this princess makes her a princess of the planet Dominia.
Yes.
And being a princess of Dominia, apparently Earth doesn't have good relations with Dominia, and they think, great, if we bring this princess back to Dominia, then we'll have,
Yeah.
what's the word I'm looking for? Repair relations? Increase relations with them? Foster better relations? Improve. Thank you. That's a much better word for it. However, unfortunately, in the explosion, the princess's hand was blown off as well. But they return to the ship. They've got the injured Zarina on there. And as I say, they plan to return her to her home world so they can... I've got written here, establish positive diplomatic relations. Okay. That's the much posher way of saying improve relations with them. So what happens is she's being seen to by the doctor because obviously she's lost her hand. But what happens is her hand actually regenerates. And that's where, it does.
They sew her hand back on, don't they?
No, or if they sew it back on, it regenerates back to like a fine working hand, like it never happened. Okay. But I can't remember if they sewed it on. But if they did,
I thought they sewed it on. Yeah.
Yeah, so if they sewed it on,
normal,
yeah, it goes back on, and it's something to do with Princess Zarina or the Dominion world's blood or something like that. Yeah. People from their world have this regenerative property in their blood. But that does introduce us to the ship's commander, a cyborg called Dr. Mittenhand, and he wants to use her regenerative sort of DNA to help rebuild his destroyed body. Okay, so that's one thing that's happening. Now, there's a weird doctor. I've not really talked about the different sort of characters. So we've got our main soldier, who's the love interest of our female companion to the soldiers. Yeah. We've got our hard-ass Sergeant Tinhead. Yes. Who is literally Tinhead. He's got half a metal head. We've got a ship's doctor called Harold, who is a creep. He's a perv. He's absolute perv. Yeah. And there are just a gaggle of other soldiers. Yeah. A gaggle of other soldiers, as well as obviously Dr. Mittenhand. Is that a official name? A gaggle? I don't think it is, but I think it's a good word for how they behave. What is a gaggle? Is it of geese? A gaggle of geese?
Might be.
Maybe.
I could just look it up.
They could break an arm, So they're back. The Princess Zarina is lying in the sort of medical bay, just recuperating her hand. The soldiers have a kind of wind down event. There's always a disco.
There's always a disco in these movies.
Always a disco.
We're here for it.
And they are. It's really, really pathetic. Kowalski and the other female soldier. Let me stop calling her female soldier and find Dolores. Mm-hmm. That's her, Dolores. How could I forget Dolores? It's such a common name.
Yeah, so widely used.
So widely used. I should have remembered that. Kowalski and Dolores sneak off, or try to sneak off. Everybody notices them sneaking off. And you get the old, ooh, kind of what are you up to? And they go off, they start to do their thing. Yes. However, Kowalski starts to complain of some pain in his penis. That doesn't seem to put Dolores off, though.
Doesn't he?
However, I don't know about you, Emma.
No, Dolores is a selfish lover. She's just like, I don't care if you're in pain. Carry on.
But also, would you not be like, why are you in so much pain there? Is there something I should be worried about? And do I want that anywhere near me, first of all? Yeah. But she doesn't seem to care until, a leprechaun comes flying out of his pants, effectively. Well, busting out of his pants, I should say.
It's very odd.
It's like a chest buster / ball buster thing.
Not good, is it?
It's not good. And now we have the fully formed, fully dressed, might I add, Leprechaun. And I don't know if he's still the Leprechaun or if he's half Leprechaun, half penis now. I mean, how does that work?
He's just the Leprechaun,
He's just the Leprechaun, isn't he? And he's,
I don't know why of all the body parts he would choose the penis to.
Yeah, it's very odd.
But there you go.
I know. Yeah, he comes out. It's at this point as well, we see Dr. Harold perving over the passed out Zarina.
Yes.
Really perving over her. He's caught by what I can only really call the iPad on a Roomba that goes around as Dr. Mittenhead.
Yeah.
Because you don't actually see him in person until later in the film. He's just on camera, isn't he?
He is, yeah. For a lot of the film, he's just on camera.
So, and I recognised him straight away. If anyone listening to this remembers an old British sitcom called Allo Allo, he was the effeminate German Lieutenant Gruber. So very well recognised, by me at least. And plays it, really hams up this part as well. So Mittenhand explains to Dr. Harold about her regenerative DNA to recreate his own body. So he stops Harold doing anything to her, I think, because he wants to keep her blood or to keep her as a source of blood. So that,
I think so.
Which is, not fair enough, but I can understand why he doesn't want Harold doing anything to her. The bloody weirdo. And then we get the Leprechaun in the ship. Dolores comes in and tells everyone that Kowalski's been killed by this Leprechaun.
Wasn't Dolores the chicken in Wizard of Oz? Or one of the
I don't
chickens?
know.
Is it Wizard of Oz? Is it Return to Oz where the chicken talks?
Yes, it's Return to Oz. Was it?
Oh, I need to look that up. I did look up Gag with Geese as well, and it's 5 or more geese.
It's specifically 5 or more? How
Yes.
many soldiers are there? There's Dolores, there's Kowalski, there's Books, there's Sticks. Oh, and it's not Tin Head, it's Metal Head. Yeah, so there's five soldiers, not including our Dr. Tina Reeds as well. So yeah, so there's 5 soldiers, so there is a gaggle of them.
Oh, I was totally out. It's not Dolores, it's Belina, the chicken. Where did I get that from then?
I don't know. Dolores Claiborne. There's a film, isn't there? Dolores Claiborne with Kathy Bates. I think Dolores Claiborne. That's where I know it's a name, but that's where I recognise the name from. Let's look up. Are there any famous Dolores in the world? Famous Dolores? No, there isn't. Dolores del Rio. There's a Dolores del Rio, but other than that,
Got Dolores from then.
Yeah, no, I can't think of any other famous Dolores.
Anyway, this is riveting podcasting. I was just looking things up.
It's almost like we should have done this research beforehand, but it's difficult when the thoughts don't come to your head until now.
I know.
We've got so many other things going on in our heads. Anyway. Now, what then follows, are a lot of really boring set pieces where individual soldiers are taken out one by one.
Yeah.
And nothing really great happens.
It's quite boring, isn't it?
Yeah.
Getting in the middle is quite boring.
I think there's actually 6 soldiers, because there's Kowalski, Sticks, Book, and then there's another one, and Dolores, because one of them gets crushed by some boxes.
Yeah.
One of them, Dolores, falls to her death through the belly of the ship where they're trying to either get away from the Leprechaun, or at some points they're hunting the Leprechaun down, and then at other points they're trying to get away from the Leprechaun. So we're left ultimately with Metalhead, Books, Sticks, and Tina, the 4 of them. On the ship as well, obviously, is Zarina and the Leprechaun.
Yeah.
And you've got Harold, the Doctor, and Mittenhead.
Yeah.
Again, Mittenhead. What a name.
I know.
So we have this, so like the middle of the film is just this really boring thing where only two people die, and they're not even inventive deaths.
No.
One's crushed, one falls to their death. So
Yeah.
pretty boring until we get a bit of a face-off. We've got Dr. Mittenhead.
Oh, I've got deaths.
Dr.
as a wild
Harold.
card, so do
Yeah, I won't say how
Okay.
Harold dies. And then you've got the Leprechaun and Zarina. The Leprechaun kills Harold
Yeah.
and is, I don't know how, oh yeah, then he feeds this kind of concoction. So Dr. Mittenhead has been trying to create this concoction out of Zarina's blood, this kind of regenerative sort of thing for his body. He's
Yeah.
been trying to create that already. So there's like a blender. Again, literally just a kitchen blender.
Yeah,
with
on a spaceship,
Yeah, I mean,
as you do.
you know, there's going to be a mess hall. We've got a disco. There's got to be a canteen.
Oh yeah, that's true. There's disco, isn't there? There's a disco on. What was the other movie we watched on a spaceship where they had a disco?
Space Mutiny.
Yeah.
There's a disco on there.
Of course,
yeah.
when you're building a spaceship, get your priorities straight.
Yeah.
Massive engine room.
Yep.
With lots of cylinders of, I don't know, explosives.
Explosives, 100%.
And then absolutely prioritise a disco room because these astronauts get bored.
Yeah, yeah.
They've got to have
I like the
entertainment
idea, and they've got to have something to do.
Yeah.
It's like in Star Trek, they've got the holodeck where they can create any sort of program they want and exist in it. And more often than not, it actually causes more problems than anything because there's so many episodes sort of based around the holodeck going wrong and people in danger because of it. So it's it's an interesting one. Now, this concoction that Mittenhead has created, the Leprechaun is putting different things into it. One, a spider.
Yeah.
Two, another one is a scorpion that he puts in.
Yeah.
And I think he must put some sort of fly in it as well because of the way Mittenhead, what happens later. So he's putting these things in it. And first of all, how are these things on a spaceship anyway? How is there a scorpion? Oh, no, I know. They do actually have them in specimen
yes, they do,
bottles.
yeah.
Yes, they do. So fair enough. These things are there for a reason. Whether they're doing some sort of... it must be some sort of experimentation with, I don't know, regenerative stuff. But spiders and scorpions don't regenerate limbs or anything. So
No. I mean, spiders shed their skin, that's about it. Isn't there a lizard
Scorpions shed it too. Lizards can
regrow a tail if they lose it, is that right?
Yeah, and some limbs. They can regrow limbs as well. Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
It would be bad, would it? But you'd have to go through the trauma of losing your limb.
Well, yeah, but it would be amazing if people that had lost a limb could just
grow
one.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
But that's the premise of Spider-Man.
Chopping off your limbs just for fun, but it would be amazing if
It's amazing how I went there, wasn't it?
Yeah, if you had a horrific accident and then it could grow back, it'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying people just go chop people's limbs off for fun.
Just be
to
like,
see how long it takes to grow back.
It's going to grow back anyway.
Just to get out of work for a bit. I can't come back to work till my arm's grown back.
I'm sure we can find something for your baby arm to do. There's got to be a small sprocket it can
We've got some
turn.
light admin your little baby arm can do. It's
Actually, what workers' humans' rights would that arm have? Because until it's over like the age of 16,
you can only work so many hours a week.
and does that also mean that you get like proportional minimum wage for under 18-year-olds?
Yeah, you can only work so many hours. You can only get a certain wage. Yeah.
Oh God, that'd be terrible. I'm sorry, but technically that arm is under 16 years old, so you're not allowed to work for more than, what is it, 16 hours a week or something like that?
I don't know what it is. But I know there are limits for like youngsters, isn't there?
That's you for 16 years till your arm gets old enough.
Because they do it with child actors, don't they? They can't use them.
Yes.
They can only do work for so many hours, and then they have to.
That'd be so frustrating.
They have to schedule it. That's why a lot of the time we've talked about this, didn't we? They use older actors for high school kids in America because when they're like 30 years old and then they'd be 18.
Or Stockard Channing in Greece, who was 39 playing.
39.
She was something like 39 playing Rizzo.
Rizzo,
yeah. It's mad.
That's ridiculous.
39.
Yeah, she was in her 30s. She didn't look like a 17, 18-year-old anyway, did she?
I mean, don't get me wrong, she didn't like a 39. No, I mean, 39-year-olds don't look old anyway, to me, being so much more ancient than 39-year-olds.
Obviously, they're not old, are they?
No.
39-year-olds.
No, 39-year-olds aren't old, but they don't...
No.
But neither does she look... Maybe it was just because of the school surrounding, I don't know. But yeah, so where was I? Yes, Mittenhead has this kind of the Leprechaun updates this concoction with these extra bits, blends them all up in the blender, puts them into a syringe and sticks them into Mittenhead and injects him with this, just to see what happens effectively. It's at this point that our remaining soldiers come in, Metalhead, Book, Sticks and Tina, and a gunfight ensues. The Leprechaun and Zarina disappear.
Yes.
Not disappear, but they run away. So then again ensues another chase and a little bit of crap happening. Not a lot really going on at all. Until they get to a kind of a cargo bay, because the Leprechaun's trying to find his gold. Because after they killed the Leprechaun, they took his gold and put it on the ship. For some reason, they shrunk it. So he's.
It doesn't explain. Was it a lot of gold? Do you think?
I think it was quite a lot. Yeah, it was. It was a big table full of stuff. Yeah, that's the only thing I can imagine. So
they've got weight limits on a spacecraft as well, a bit like an aeroplane. So maybe the gold was too heavy for it.
But that's the thing. It's like, if you shrunk it down, would it not still contain the same mass? So it'd still be as heavy. It'd just be smaller.
Oh, I don't know. That's too technical for me, David.
So have you ever seen the movie Ant-Man?
Yeah.
So in the movie Ant-Man, they've got these PIM particles, where they can shrink somebody down, but they keep the same mass. So it's one point.
So they're still the same weight. They're just
still
tiny.
So the movie explains everything's still the same weight. It's just tiny. So that's why Ant-Man, as a tiny little person, can punch someone with the force of a human. Now, what's the interesting part of that is Hank Pym, played by Michael Douglas, has on a keyring a tank.
Oh yeah, so that wouldn't.
And later in the film, he puts some PIM particles on it to expand it back to its normal size.
Yeah.
But he's walking around with this tank on his keychain.
Yeah.
Hank Pym is so strong to be carrying the weight of a tank on a keychain.
I never thought that. That's crazy.
Yeah. So that's.
Yeah. So if you're going to say something like that in a movie, think it through.
Yeah, absolutely think it through, because
you've contradicted yourself there.
You have indeed. And then also, they shrink themselves down so they can climb on the backs of ants, and ants will fly them around.
But then
you're telling me?
Carry the weight of a human.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know ants are strong, but that strong?
I see you've thought about this quite a lot, David.
Sometimes it keeps me up at night, Emma. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I just.
Is it your Roman Empire?
Yeah, it's my Roman Empire.
How does an ant carry a human?
What is it? A school for ants?
It's at least 3 times its size.
Is it a tank for ants? Yeah. So they chase the Leprechaun and Zarina into this storage room. There's a lot of storage rooms they end up in.
Yeah.
Okay. And...
Oh, sorry, that's the other thing you need. So you need...
Oh, go on.
Engine rooms, disco, storage rooms.
Storage rooms. And the entertainment room. Oh, that was the disco room.
That was the disco room. To store what exactly are we storing in these storage rooms?
I'm going to say...
Gold.
Well, I'm also going to say maybe CO2 for the smoke for the disco room.
Yeah.
That's it.
And costumes.
Costumes for the disco room. Yeah, definitely costumes for the disco room, especially drag costumes, which...
Apparently so, yeah.
Which we'll get to in a minute. So they corner what they think is Zarina and the Leprechaun in this storage room, but only Zarina comes out, and she's like, "How dare you chase me down? I'm a princess of Dominia, blah blah blah."
Yeah. And
she then proceeds to sentence death on them in a very specific way. Okay.
Are you going to talk about this later, or?
I think I will. Yes, okay. I think I will. I think I will talk about it later. So she pronounces death on everyone in a very specific way to the planet of Dominia.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the Leprechaun creeps up behind them, does a little bit of his magic, because he does this magic stuff with his fingers, and kind of causes things to change.
Yeah.
And he gets Metalhead, not Mittenhead, this is Metalhead, the sergeant. He magics up loads of dynamite on him, and the Leprechaun has a little dead man switch detonator thing.
Yes.
So he forces them to say, "Hey, look, unless you want to be blown to smithereens, you'll let me go." Yeah. Blah blah blah. So Zarina and the Leprechaun escape with Metalhead in tow. He's also kind of done something to Metalhead's brain to make him compliant as well. And Metalhead does the old marching and sort of things that you'd see in a boot camp as well, which is I thought was quite funny. And I do want to talk about Metalhead specifically quite a bit later, I think, when we talk about supporting cast. So they then kind of like decide on what to do. It gets to a stage where we have, I mean, there's a lot of little sort of silly business. We see Mittenhead, the Dr. Mittenhead, the person, the main guy, the big cheese, the big boss.
Yeah.
We see the effects of the concoction that was put into him. He's turned into like a kind of a monster, but he's still got his brains, but he is saying that he's losing his brain function and he will just become a ravening beast effectively in a moment. We have our Leprechaun who then decides that he's going to put the ship into self-destruct mode.
Yeah.
The Leprechaun also goes and finds the only shuttle for them to get off of the ship, puts a barrier over it, because he still wants to find his gold and he's not going to leave until he finds it. Our 3 remaining heroes, Tina, Books and Styx, go to sort of hunt them down, get to the entertainment room / disco room, where they are confronted with Metalhead in drag. It starts.
It's quite a sight to behold.
It's quite a sight, yeah. This very butch sergeant.
Very butch.
Yeah, very butch sergeant.
With
now,
like a Tina Turner wig.
Yes, it's definitely Tina Turner, isn't it?
What's that wig? Very 80s.
Absolutely. Tina Turner, gold sequin dress.
Yeah. Terrible makeup, and he's not a pretty looking man, is he?
No, he's certainly
like
not the best drag queen.
Butch, he's not. Yeah.
He wouldn't make it through RuPaul's Drag Race very far.
No.
Let's put it that way.
He wouldn't even get on there.
Definitely not. So they have a little bit of a fight. There's a whole big fight going on, and that's when the fight ends, and that's when what the Leprechaun does by putting the ship into self-destruct, because all this kind of happens sort of simultaneously. That's when they decide, oh God, we're going to have to get off the ship. But then they're like, well, if one of us can try and stop the self-destruct sequence, great. So Styx, goes off to see if he can stop the self-destruct.
Yeah.
And Books and Tina carry on to try and find the Leprechaun and deal with him. Styx gets to the main console, but in this main sort of console area, there's loads of like spider webs everywhere.
Yes.
He gets to the console, he starts to do the stop the self-destruct, and he is accosted by Mittenhead. We don't see it happen, but it happens.
Yeah. And
we have Books and Tina in yet again another cargo bay area where the Leprechaun has found his gold, but he finds it shrunken down now.
Yeah.
Well, Books and Tina find him. A gunfight ensues. The Leprechaun gets annoyed at Princess Serena and knocks her out. She's passed out on the floor. And we're having this gunfight. Styx in the main control area has somehow got himself free from being webbed up and starts to sort out the process. But he needs a password and he doesn't know what the password is.
Yeah.
So then, it's like so little happened until 20 minutes until the end of the film.
Yeah.
That this is all in the last 20
yeah.
minutes of the film. It's just so much going on. So then so Books and Tina are shooting away. Tina, I can't remember where Tina goes, but she leaves.
Yeah.
And I can't remember why, but Books drags Arena into an airlock.
Yeah.
Because this cargo bay can vent out into space.
Yes.
At this point, for some reason as well, the Leprechaun has made himself giant.
Yeah, I don't really know why.
And is stomping through trying to kill Books as well. I don't know. Maybe
Really an
because they
explanation
thought
for that,
maybe because they thought they could do it with camera tricks, so they
yeah,
so
so
they
it
did
needs the
it.
special effects, I
Yeah.
guess. And also it means that the Leprechaun's big enough, I guess, to take on other people. But then it's magic anyway, so it doesn't really need to be bigger.
Yeah.
Because he's
he
got
doesn't,
magic
does
that
he?
he can use. So,
Oh, that's right. Tina goes to help Styx because he's been trapped by Mittenhead. That's what happens.
oh, yes.
Yes, that's why. So, Books drags Zarina into like an airlock and gets on the intercom and tells Styx to vent the cargo bay.
Yeah.
In which point, yep, Styx vents the cargo bay, the Leprechaun is dragged out and goes a bit warpy in space and then explodes, and that's the end of the Leprechaun in the film.
Also, we think.
Also, we think. At that point as well, Tina gets to the main sort of control area.
Yeah.
And she's talking to Styx, and Styx is like, look out behind you, because Mittenhead, the monstrous Mittenhead, has come up behind her, starts attacking her. She pulls a hose off of some sort of like cooling unit.
Yes, yeah, it's something that
Like not
freezes. It's like it's a bit like liquid nitrogen.
That's
isn't it?
the one.
That sort of effect. So it comes out like steam, but it actually freezes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So imagine like Terminator 2 when the T-1000 gets frozen. So Mittenhead gets frozen. I won't say anything more than that because we've probably got a wild card on that, maybe. Oh, no, we've got line, haven't we?
We've got a line, yeah.
We have got line as one of our categories. So Tina freezes him, shoots him, Mittenhead explodes, and the Leprechaun's dealt with, the monstrous Mittenhead is dealt with, and then Books comes up to the main control area. They're sitting there. The ship has literally got 10 seconds before explosion.
Yeah.
They're trying to figure out the password, and they say, Mittenhead thinks he's an absolute genius, blah, 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 whatever it is. And then they type in the password, which is the word wizard.
Yeah.
And literally on 0 seconds, auto self-destruct is stopped.
And the machine says auto-destruct. What does it say? Auto-destruct cancelled or whatever.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Have a good day. What?
Unnecessary chat from the machine.
It really was, wasn't it? Like, who programmed that message?
It's like, in this situation, you're either going to die or have a good day.
Yeah. And they jump up and they're all really excited. Tina kisses Books.
Yeah.
And Styx is a bit like, okay, fine, you two go kiss. Who am I going to kiss?
Yeah.
And it looks for a second like all of us. No, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But then that's the end of the film. Also, we think. Now, I'm not going to say what happens.
We'll talk about.
Because we want to talk about what then happens at the end of the film. But that's ultimately it. That is it.
That's it in a nutshell.
Yeah. No.
How did I get in this?
This is me in a nutshell.
What kind of a nut has a shell this big?
But yeah, it's
like you've hit the nail on the head. It's nothing really happens. And
There's
in
a
the
lot
last 20 minutes, everything happens.
Yeah, there's a lot of running through a ship.
Yeah.
A lot of chasing things. And there's at one point as well where I think I read about in the film that the Marines hunt the Leprechaun who outsmarts and kills most of the crew in gruesome and absurd ways.
Yeah.
No,
Not
no,
really.
he doesn't. The most gruesome one, I think, is probably like the idea of him growing out of your pee-pee, your penis. that.
Get joiners.
Oh my God! Look at that! It looks like Johnson. We are quoting Austin Powers far too much for our own good at the moment.
I need to watch it again. I haven't watched it for years.
I've not watched. I need to get my kids to watch it.
Yeah.
I'll say to them, "Shall we watch Austin Powers?" They do
Have they
enjoy
watched
it.
Wayne's World?
Actually, no, they haven't.
I've got to watch Wayne's World as well then.
Do you know, I loved Wayne's World so much.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. I remember going to Saturday morning cinema as well to watch Wayne's World. And so, Saturday morning cinema that I used to go to was always empty, right? But Wayne's World, when Wayne's World was on, it was packed. There were people sitting in the aisles watching it as well. Yeah. There was no thought for safety, none at all. But yeah, because I remember when you went, you got this little booklet, Wayne's World booklet,
Oh, did you?
Oh, it was great,
I
yeah.
never saw it at the cinema.
Oh, it was brilliant. I loved that film so much. I had the Wayne's World book, and it just made me laugh so much. There was like a page that was blank, and it said, "This page has been left blank because books are made in a certain way. They had to have exactly 96 pages to make the book up. So this page has been left in blank to make it up to 96 pages."
Yeah.
And it was just like stupid little things like that. And then there was another one, things that, like, they'll talk about the song. You know the song, Things That Make You Go,
Yeah.
right? They were like, a list of 10 things that make you go, And it was like, eating spaghetti, and the waiter asks you, "How's your spaghetti?" Okay, that was one of them. And another one that always made me laugh was getting mugged and being hit in the head so hard that you can use the power of speech, and all you can say for the next 6 months is,
Have you still got this book?
Oh, God, no. It's the same as I had a book that was facts and information about all the first 4 series of The Simpsons.
Oh,
So
really?
every single episode,
Yeah.
back in the day, I knew everything to tell you about every single episode, every interesting fact about anything, anything that was like what we call an Easter egg now,
Yeah.
all those sorts of little things.
Or like when they predicted the future and stuff like that?
Well,
Was
it's
any of that in
difficult back then to say if they were predicting the future
Yeah.
because the future hadn't happened yet.
Well,
but what?
most
Oh
of
my God! What if in the book there was like a little bit
Well, yeah,
saying,
if they're predicting the future,
I'm
they
predicting
should
the
have
future.
predicted it in the book. They should say in the book if they
"My
do.
whole life's a lie"? But yeah, so back in the days, I could have told you absolutely everything about the first 4 seasons
Well, this is
of
no
The
good
Simpsons.
to me now, David. I
No,
didn't know you back in the day.
It's not good. It's not good to me now either because I can't remember any of it.
Exactly. This is all pointless information.
It's all completely pointless information. Anyway.
Should we talk about this pointless movie instead?
Yeah, let's talk. Oh, is that, are you giving away your stars at the end there? Pointless movie.
No, I wasn't actually, because there is something that redeems it, and it does need at least a point for that.
Yes, there's a couple of things that gives it points for me, but
Yeah.
but anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
So we have location, line, supporting cast, costume, and special effects. And I do have a wild card, and you'll never guess what my wild card is.
What?
Accent.
I've
How
got accent.
many
I
times?
know. We
However-
never get accent. We never get anything.
My wild card for accent is a bad accent, so I'm not going to cover
I've
it
got.
in this.
Oh no, yeah, I think I've only got bad for accent, but I have got death.
Yeah.
Wild card as well.
So, what do you want to start with? Location, line, supporting cast, costume, or special effects?
I've got special effects first.
Okay, yeah.
Did you have any good special effects?
Do.
Okay.
One of them is, I think I've only put it down good because it made me go, rather than, that's a great special effect. It made me think of, I think you might know,
Yeah.
it was when the first soldier finds the leprechaun's gold
Yeah.
and he's about to steal it, the leprechaun pops up behind him. Bearing in mind it's Warwick Davis who has who has been in Star Wars.
Yeah.
The leprechaun comes up behind him, pulls out a lightsaber, the lightsaber lights up,
Yeah.
and he chops his legs off.
Yeah.
Okay? Which made me go, oh, brilliant, what a nice callback. 1, it's in space, so they're doing science fiction sort of stuff. 2, it's Warwick Davis. 3, who doesn't love an unexpected lightsaber light up in a film?
See, that was down for my deaths wild card because
Yep.
he chops his legs off with the lightsaber, and then he dies. He falls to the ground and dies instantly.
Yeah, who does that?
That doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
We already, because when we did the body parts season,
Yeah.
we looked it up, didn't we, about bleeding out and bleeding
Yes.
to death, and how quickly that can happen, and how easily that can happen. And actually, it's not as easy as you think.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd have to obviously go through quite a main artery to bleed out.
Yeah.
And if you did lose a limb, you wouldn't necessarily bleed out at all.
And you're not
So-
big on Star Wars, are
And
you?
this was instant, no.
So let me just tell you as well, lightsabers aren't just like super sharp, they're also super hot, so it would have cauterised the wound
Yeah, so
instantly
it
as well.
wouldn't have bled
So
out
he wouldn't have
anyway.
bled out.
But there's no way, even if it was bleeding, that you chop someone's legs off and they fall to the ground and just die instantly.
The only thing I can think
don't.
of is shock. Maybe it's caused a heart attack,
Yeah.
but not amazingly likely. But,
No.
yeah, instant death, wasn't it?
It was instant, yeah.
Very instant. And it's not even like an Obi-Wan Kenobi death where he just fades into nothingness when he's hit by Darth Vader's lightsaber and becomes a Force ghost. No. This guy's still there and he's dead. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Very odd. But I did like, it did enjoy me as a special effects. Now, so I know obviously that's affected into your wild card. Now, my next favourite special effect, I don't know. What I'm going to say to you is the flat face.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were going to say the first time. So that's the same as me. So
okay, do you want to take that one?
So one of the guys gets a plate to the face.
This is Harold, the pervy doctor.
Oh, the doctor.
Yeah.
So he gets a plate to the face, and then if anyone's seen Drop Dead Fred, when he gets his head smashed in the fridge, and then he's got like the big flat face. And he tries to do the thumb in the mouth, doesn't he, and blow himself back up. Yeah, that's right. And then he's pushing the sides of it. My kids find that hilarious. Yeah. First time they saw it, they were absolutely cracking up. But yeah, it looks exactly like that, didn't it? It looks exactly like Drop Dead Fred. So it just made us laugh.
They could have just taken the head that they used in Drop Dead Fred and been like, we're going to nick this prop and use it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one too.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know if you had that. Maybe I didn't want to just jump into that one because I thought you might have had it as a wild card death or something. But
no, it was.
But just for the special effects. Okay. Do you have any other good special effects?
I don't know if it's good or bad. Really, I think I might put them in the bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I put them in bad.
Ah, wow. So we had something down in good, but in retrospect,
I think I put it in bad. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Oh, I can't wait to record the flip side. And speaking of the flip side, everyone, if you want to hear what was going to be a good thing but is now a bad thing, you can join us over on www.icbadmovies/ icbadmovies.com. No. I got that completely wrong. www.patreon.com/ icbadmovies, where for $3 a month you can hear all of the flip side. Bargain. You can also get our main episodes a day early on the Patreon.
Yeah, bargain.
Yeah, I know. I edit everything on a Monday, release it on a Monday, but if you're listening to this via Spotify or Apple or whatever, you can only get this on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Amazing, see that? A whole day early. A whole day early. But then I suppose you're still going to finish it and you still got to wait a week for us. You still got to wait. You still got to wait. So, but, you know, if you just can't get enough of us, get to us a day early. All right, so that was special effects. Now I don't know if I want to talk about costume yet because supporting cast is going to lead into costume for me. Okay.
Would you want to do supporting cast?
Shall we?
Yeah.
Do you want to? Yeah, because I want to go from supporting cast directly into costume with mine. Do that then. So do you what have you got for supporting cast?
Okay, I've just put this one down because I knew that you enjoyed it.
Oh, okay.
So, what is her name? The alien woman that's
Princess Zarina.
Princess Zarina.
Yes. I'm going to get called out here, aren't I, on the internet?
She's good supporting cast for men because she shows her boobs.
She's also quite funny.
Yeah.
She's quite dastardly and conniving with the Leprechaun.
Yeah. And
also portrays a princess very well in that sense, where she's very entitled. But go on. See,
I feel like you have just said all that because you saw a lot of the movie before she showed her boobs. Had she just showed her boobs at the beginning, I don't think you would have noticed all those other things.
Ouch!
I think you would have just been like, yeah, boobs.
Boobs. Ouch! Ouch, Emma, do you think so little of me?
Well, no, I don't think so little of you. I think.
You're not saying me specifically. You're saying just, and I'm doing that. I'm like pointing to my chest with both hands here. I'm just like, and I realise I'm just doing a boobs sign.
I just think
you wouldn't notice those qualities about her.
You wouldn't notice those qualities about her because this is how I'm not a man, so I can't say this for sure. Okay. But I think when men see boobs,
everything else is out the window.
They forget everything else, and you know, don't blame them.
I'll put my hand up. I'm going to put my hand up. It doesn't matter.
It's fair enough. It's fair enough.
Yep.
If your brain just goes to mush because a woman's showing you her boobs, it's fair enough.
There are things I've done in life that I wouldn't have done if it hadn't been for the promise of boobs.
Yeah.
So, let's put it that way. Yeah, well,
Oh, there are rumours. I'm not judging.
So this is what was I feel a little judged.
Well.
So this is what I was alluding to earlier, listeners, where Princess Serena, she puts a sentence of death on people.
Oh, this goes into a line that I want to.
So I won't say what it is. I won't say the line, but that is what happens. So yeah, because it's almost like we need to go into line now, so you can say the line. But
should we do line next? Do supporting cast and
you do your supporting cast and your line, then I'll do my supporting cast in the costume.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So she is my good supporting cast, and she's also involved in my good line. Although I've got a couple of good lines actually.
I do have a couple of good lines. So say that good line. We'll come back to line.
She doesn't say it. No, I don't think she's.
Oh no, she doesn't say it.
It's
Tina and Styx say it.
So Tina says, when a woman of Dominion shows you her breast, it's a death sentence.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, and what part of her anatomy is she going to kill me with?
Death by snoo. Yeah, that did make me laugh. That line, that was a good line. So yeah, this is the people of Dominion. What a thing to happen! Sentence of death, just being shown boobs.
Yeah, I know.
I think I said to you, "Great, I wish I was a cat."
Yeah, what a way to go.
All right, so my supporting cast was Tinhead or Metalhead, the sergeant. He was absolutely hamming it up all through, from being at the very beginning the really gruff sort of drill sergeant of a sort of Marine Corps.
Yeah.
He's really tough and in charge, but over the top and clearly just being stupid with it. Yeah. And then when he gets kind of taken over by the Leprechaun, obviously he's got the dynamite all over him, and he goes away with the Leprechaun. And then the Leprechaun does something to him, and obviously turns him into a drag queen.
Yes.
Okay. Which looks like Tina Turner, as we said. And then what happens is he's doing this kind of drag act, and then he starts doing it to beat people up. But in between, he's being this really gruff, beating people up, and then he's going, "Oh no, this is too violent." He's doing all those little bits. So it's like Gollum talking to himself, where he's like, "Oh, I don't want to hurt the hobbits." He's like, "They hate you. They're not your friends."
Yeah.
That was my Gollum impersonation, by the way. But so he's going back and forth between this gruff drill sergeant and this drag queen ulterior.
Yes.
And I, honestly, that for me, I think was the best thing about the film. Just this whole interaction during this fight with him. I thought it was really funny, really stupid.
That wasn't the best thing for me.
No, I know exactly what the best thing was for you. And I would say I'd put it above Princess Serena's boobs.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to say it now.
But
drag
boobies.
queen. Drag queen boobies. What are you going to do? No, I mean... What?
Drag queen boobies aren't boobies.
Listen, all boobies are boobies.
No.
You put a man in a dress, boobies.
No.
What? Boobies?
That's not how it works, David.
In a man's head.
No, it doesn't.
No, I'm sorry, but it's that you don't see past the chest.
Yeah, but they haven't actually got boobies.
Women's boobies are nothing but boobies. Man boobs, women's boobs, side boob. Do you like that side boob? That's my side boob. Do you remember that Peter Griffin? Peter Griffin in Family Guy, right? I don't know what it is. He's running like a public access TV show, some public access sort of channel.
Yeah.
And a whole TV channel, and one of them, like, it's all just like stupid programs, and one of them is side boob or something like that, where you see like pictures of people's side boob, and then you see this bit of flesh side boob, and the voiceover is, "You like that side boob? Do you like that?" And then it pans out and it's like, "That's my side boob," and it's just Peter Griffin.
So it's a moob then.
It's a moob, yeah.
Moobs aren't boobs.
Moobs aren't. Look, I'm not going to stand here and say, I think boobs are boobs, no matter what they're on.
Oh no! Don't say that. So if it's on an animal, no.
No.
Come on. Draw a line, David.
I'm going far too far with this joke. Far too far. Princess Serena's boobs wins hands down.
Yeah.
She's a hand down at the beginning of the film, but she gets a hand back, so she's not a hand down anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway, see what happens when you talk about boobs. Men's brains, we're gone.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. So yes, so I thought it was hilarious. And so I do want to go to good costume then.
Yes.
All right. So my good costume literally is Tin Head's drag outfit.
Okay.
Okay. Because it was Tina Turner.
It was.
And it's not a great drag outfit.
It's really not.
It's really not. Because it is just
really
a dress on a big butch guy.
Yeah, and the makeup is not the one either.
And it's not great, but it made me laugh. It entertained me no ends.
Yeah.
And out of anything you could do with the Leprechaun, who was doing all sorts of costume changes himself, but I just didn't really, when you can be fantastical and you don't get much from it.
Yeah.
But at least here, of all things, there's a gold sequin dress on you, the biggest butchest man in the whole cast. I thought I enjoyed it. And also because the actor obviously went with it, had lots of fun with it. I think that really helped as well. So that was my good costume. So do you want to... Have you got a good costume and then we can go back to lines?
I've got a good costume. My good costume is the scientist who gets injected.
Oh, Mittenhead. Yep.
Mittenhead. So he's... Yeah, so he turns into this, creature, which is like... When I first saw it, I was like, what the hell is this? So when you first see his face, it's kind of like, the movie Alien?
Yeah.
Where it's all kind of gooey, drippy stuff.
Yeah.
It's all a bit grim.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. But his head is like all red and it's got there's little weird bits hanging off of it, almost like chicken wings that are moving about and stuff.
They are like little legs, little chicken wings legs.
He's got like almost a scorpion-shaped body, because it was a scorpion and a spider and stuff, wasn't it, that were in these specimen jars. So it's like a scorpion body with big spider legs, and then at the back there's some kind of it's almost like a big ball of it. It's like eggs, doesn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was supposed to be like a scorpion stinger tail, but it didn't have a stinger.
And it was like a ball of eggs. That's what its face.
Big and bulbous and looked like it had eggs. Yeah.
And then he also had like a big fly eye, didn't he? One of his eyes looked like a fly's eye. So, but I just thought, we actually thought it was a pretty good costume, didn't we? Because it did look quite good, and it was, when you first saw it, you're like, oh, that's disgusting. But then it pans out and it's like, what is this thing? Part spider, part scorpion, part fly.
He's absolutely monstrous looking. And it's
but
disgusting.
It did look quite good. It wasn't
looks good.
Terrible costume, was it? So that was my good costume. Did you have anything other than Tina Turner?
No, just Tina Turner. Just Tina Turner. Absolutely. That was it for costumes. So should we go back to lines now?
Yes.
What have you got anything?
Well, I have got one, but it's not really the line that's funny. It's the bad German accent that is spoken in.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So this kind of links with the accent wild card as well. So the boss is... I've put doing German, I think. We think it was German. It might not have been. It was hard to place. But he at one point says, I am greedy, you are insatiable. But it's not the line itself, it's the way he says it.
Yes.
Because he's got this really dodgy German accent. So, that's not really a line. It was just... But the accent is dodgy. And then...
Yes.
There's also the Leprechaun's accent, which is... He wasn't doing an accent, and then about halfway through he started trying to do an Irish accent. Yeah. Really badly, and it's all over the place for the rest of the movie.
It really was.
Slips in and out, it's different every time he speaks. It wasn't a good accent at all, but it was almost like for the first part of the movie he wasn't doing it. And then he tried to do this Irish accent, so it's weird. I
think I said to you at the time, Warwick Davis clearly decided not to even bother trying to do the Irish accent anymore.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden he was trying to put on this Irish accent. But it wasn't a good accent.
It really wasn't.
I put that in with a wild card, but it wasn't actually good. But they were quite funny, I guess, so they probably are on the good side because they're quite amusing.
I had a line
Yeah.
I've written it down and I can't remember who said it now.
Oh, okay.
Because it's back on Wednesday. A little bit of the bubbly to get us on friendly terms. Oh, that's right. It's the Leprechaun. It was the Leprechaun.
Oh, okay.
Because but I can't remember why I thought it was a good line now. There was something that happened with it that made me think, haha, that was a good line. But it's completely gone, so I'm going to scrap it.
Okay.
I'm going to scrap it. I do have another one.
Yeah.
So after Kowalski has exploded the Leprechaun from his penis, the Leprechaun turns around and says to his corpse, and this is when he's attempting the Irish accent.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to attempt it because I can't do an Irish accent, and if you can't do an accent, don't bother. So he says, let that be a lesson to you, lad. Always wear a prophylactic.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
But then also, it wouldn't have worked because the only reason you were able to infect him is because he was weeing on your corpse. There's no point in wearing a condom when you're weeing on someone. So,
can you imagine trying to wear a condom and have a wee? That would not work out.
I can't imagine. I don't know what would happen to the condom. Would it start to expand, or would it start to kind of just dribble out the top? Oh, I don't even want to.
That'd be grim. Yeah.
That'd be really grim. Ugh.
No.
No, let's move on from that image. No. Oh God. How? Oh. Yeah.
That's not a little thing to find out, really, is it? We'll never know.
No.
We're happy.
I'm
never know.
happy to never know. We'll never find out.
Okay, so...
Yes. I was kind of lost completely.
You froze then?
I did freeze.
So...
I think I need to be turned off and on again.
We haven't done location. Have you got anything for location?
Yes, I do actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The actual spaceship interior felt like a spaceship.
It felt
the traditional
much more
sense.
like a spaceship than Catwoman of the Moon or whatever that one was called.
Yeah.
Much more.
Space Mutiny.
Yeah.
Much more like a spaceship. It felt like a spaceship, and that was it.
Looked like a spaceship, tasted like a spaceship.
Wrote its own theme tune.
Heard the theme tune. Sing the theme tune.
So there's nothing very specific about that, other than
just the fact that it looked like a spaceship.
It looked like a spaceship.
Some that haven't.
Yeah. So I just wanted to call it out for that, and that's it. No more about it.
Okay.
But have you got anything else that's good? Any other wild cards?
The only other wild card was another death, and this was the bit I wanted to talk about at the end.
Yes.
So you've already said that the Leprechaun gets kind of forced out into space because they trap him in a section where they can open the door.
Yeah.
And he kind of gets pulled out of the spacecraft. And then he comes out into space, and like you said, he's kind of does this warp. They do this warp effect on him where he's like bloated and then shrunken, and then he just explodes. And
I know.
He's not wearing a spacesuit or anything, so he just explodes.
Yeah.
Would that happen, or would you just float around space?
I think you freeze more than anything else.
Yeah, you just kind of float around.
Yeah. You kind of freeze.
But anyway, he does explode because it's a movie. And then you see, like, later on, like, past the window of the spaceship, you see, like they see this little foot coming towards, like his little boot coming towards the spaceship. And then you see, like, little body parts, like little parts of the Leprechaun that have exploded, like chunks of him. Yep. And then this made the whole movie worth watching for me. His hand just comes past the window and he just, like, flips them off. He sticks his middle finger up as it goes past, and it just really made me laugh.
I did like that the Leprechaun got the final word.
Yeah.
I did like that.
His final fuck you.
Like, have that.
You might have exploded me into 1,000 pieces, but fuck you.
you were in hysterics. You were really laughing there.
I wasn't expecting them to show the Leprechaun again at all. And then when this little foot came towards us, I was thinking, oh, what's going to happen now? Is he going to come back? Because he's magic, so he's been killed before and he's come back.
Yep.
So I was like, what's going to happen? Is this little, like, shoe going to find its way into the spacecraft and he's going to come back? But I wasn't expecting that at all, and it did really make me laugh.
So what gets me as well, right, is this movie set in 2096 with a Leprechaun in space.
Yeah.
The next movie, excuse me for yawning, is Leprechaun in the Hood. Okay?
Yeah.
So does this mean that when, like, the next movie, the frozen the body parts from space end up back in 2096, the Hood? Or
I don't know.
Does he somehow go back in time? Or is this movie set in the future and it's after the time in the Hood has happened?
Yeah, I think it must be that.
It must be that, isn't it, the last one, rather than going back in time?
Yeah, I would have thought so.
I'd imagine so.
Maybe we'll never know because I'm never going to watch any of the others.
Now, can you
Please don't
remember? I can't remember what it was. Can you remember what happened when we both cracked up? When you asked a question and they answered you?
Oh, the nunchucks.
Oh, yes.
So
that's it.
He was playing with those, and then I said, "How do you even use those? Just whack somebody around the head with them." And then, literally as I said it, he whacked someone around the head with them. I was like, "This is how you use it. There you go."
That made me laugh. I laughed so much at that because it was the most perfect timing.
Yeah, but then later on, when they were kissing right at the end, I can't remember their names again.
Books and Tina.
Books and Tina were kissing, and who was the other guy that was there?
Sticks.
So Sticks was kind of looking, and we were going, "Oh, he's looking, thinking, get a room, you two." And then you made a comment about, or I can't remember which one of us made a comment about them having a threesome.
Yeah.
And then as soon as one of us said that, she put her arm around him as well.
And
so
pulled all three of them in.
Together, and I was like, okay, is this movie listening to us?
Just got to check out for a little Leprechaun messing things up. Maybe people are like, we watched Leprechaun 4, none of what you said actually happened. What's going on? And actually it's just Warwick Davis just doing a little bit of magic messing with us. So what do you want to give this film in terms of score, Emma?
I'm going to give it 2, I think.
Okay.
As we said, it was pretty boring for the majority of it. Mm-hmm. But that last 20 minutes, at least stuff was happening.
Yeah.
I liked the costume, the spider scorpion costume thing. I loved the bit with the hand where we flipped them off. That really made me laugh. So that's getting a point on its own.
Nice.
And also, you've got to give it something for the boobies.
Something for the boobies.
It did have, she did flash her boobies.
You make 2 very good points.
So I'm going to give it 2 out of 5. What are you
2 out of 5. I think I'm going to give it 2 out of 5. Again, I can't forgive it for... So it's a decent idea in space. It gives you a lot of things to play around with. Like you can do lots of parodies. Like you've got the Alien parody where he busts out of his penis instead of his chest. There's the kind of lightsaber thing. There's a lot of Aliens, the sequel to Alien parody with the Marines as well, hunting them down. They've got motion trackers and beeping, and it's like, oh my god, they're all around us, they're in the walls, that kind of thing. Yeah. So it's a good premise because you've got a lot that you can work with and a lot you can make fun with. But a lot of the film is just boring.
It is, isn't it?
And I don't know if we were watching this back in 1996, would we have been more entertained? It's like, I doubt you're not a big fan of Star Wars, so I doubt you've ever seen the film Spaceballs.
No.
So Spaceballs is a Star Wars parody.
Right.
And when I was a kid, I absolutely loved it. I would watch it again and again and again. It was so funny.
Yeah.
And I think I've said this before on the podcast, but I watched it again not that long ago, and it was so boring.
Yeah, so I think that's the thing, isn't it? Because back in the 90s, we would have been more impressed with more stuff because we haven't seen all the stuff that's come after that.
But then there are things from the 90s that have still stood up.
Yeah, I guess so.
So it's I think it's a difficult and it's a difficult thing to quantify.
Yeah.
Some people might watch Spaceballs again and be like, it's brilliant. Some people might watch Leprechaun 4 again and go, ha ha ha, that's really funny. And, fair play to you. But I just thought there was a lot of really missed jokes, a lot of really telegraphed jokes that just weren't brilliant.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see a mystical creature kill people by dropping boxes on them or peeling their fingers off and watching them fall to their death.
Yeah.
And when I say peeling their fingers off, I mean off of what they're holding on to so they don't fall and die. So I want to see the flattened faces. I want to see those...
The comedy stuff.
The comedy deaths, the gruesome comedy deaths.
Yeah.
And we just didn't get them.
We like the silliness.
But I will give it a star for the last 20 minutes just being kind of non-stop, even though some of it was still a bit crap. There was the drag thing, which,
big fan.
Strangely realised I'm a big fan of.
Yeah.
No.
And then food, apparently.
I seem to be going on about it more than I should.
More than necessary.
More than necessary. But it was a very funny scene, and that definitely gets it for me. But the last 20 minutes was definitely involved. There's a lot of fun things in the last 20 minutes that doesn't make up for the rest of the film.
Yeah.
And when we stopped watching the film on Wednesday night, we had
Yeah.
about, 25, 30 minutes left. And when we restarted watching it tonight,
You put it
I
back
got
in
it. I got it.
exactly the right point
Listen,
to see the boobs again,
listen.
didn't you?
It was purely by accident.
Yeah, whatever.
Purely by accident, but we did get to see the boobs a second time. So
don't
I'm going to
believe
give
for
it
a
3
second.
stars because I saw the boobs twice. No, I'm going to give it 2 stars, but I think because it just can't score any higher than that because there was just so much else wrong with the film.
Yeah.
So it's got to be knocked down for that. So yeah, 2 stars from me, 2 stars from you.
Yeah.
Not awful, but I don't think it's worthwhile watching. And if you do,
Just watch the last 20 minutes.
just watch the last. Yeah.
When do the boobies come in? Watch it from the boobies onwards.
Get an idea of the plot until maybe I would say get an idea of the plot until the leprechaun comes back,
Yeah.
and then skip through any of the scenes with the soldiers.
Yeah.
Watch the scenes with Dr. Mittenhead, and then skip the soldiers chasing around, and then once you see boobs, play and finish the
Yeah.
film from there.
Yeah.
I think that's the key, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, is there anything else you want to say about the Leprechaun?
I don't think so.
Leprechaun 4 in specific.
In space.
Yeah, I don't have anything more to say
No, I
about it.
don't.
So what we're going to do now, we are going to go away and record,
The flip side.
and on
The flip side.
we're going to talk about all the bad bits of Leprechaun 4, which
Yes.
I think there's definitely going to be
Yeah.
quite a fair few mentions there. None of them
Yeah.
involving boobs, apparently, but there will be quite a few mentions. So if you do want to join us there, like I say, www.patreon.com/ICBadMovies. $3 a month gets you access to all of our back catalogue as well on there. So, yeah, we hope to see you there. So it's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from me.